Okay. So, Greg, you can hear me all right, right?
Everything is all good.
Okay, all good. Welcome to the Foundations of Heart Rate Variability course launch webinar. My name is Jason Moore, and I'm going to be co-instructing this course along with Greg. And Greg, feel free to introduce yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm Greg. I'll let you do your little intro first.
Okay. Many of you may already know me. This is the first time you've seen my face or talking, but I'm the co-founder of Elite HRV, which is a heart rate variability platform. We have mobile apps and a web analytics dashboard. We started out with fitness folks primarily, and over the past 2 or 3 years, we've really elevated into high performance sports and health arenas. We work with everybody from child protective services all the way to first responders and law enforcement officers, military, and definitely the high performance sports. We've had a few people in the Olympics that were using Elite HRV, which we're really excited about. And so I'm sure they're happy that that's over, but it was a really good time. And but anyways, over the years, we have really come to notice that there is a big gap in the understanding of heart rate variability. For sure, I've definitely grown a lot over the past few years while working with all of these coaches and health practitioners, clinicians, doctors, researchers. I've just learned so much from dealing with all of these people and realized that basically the content that's available out there is it's not really comprehensive, and there's a lot of conflicting information. So without going down that whole rabbit hole, a little bit more about myself. I designed information systems for the oil and gas industry previously, large-scale data tracking systems. And on the side, for many years, I was actually a health and fitness coach and really diving into, I'm just kind of a nerdy person by nature, just diving into the research and really networking and trying to figure out better ways to get my clients results, and also myself. I take my own health and performance very seriously. So yeah, that was pretty all over the place. But during that time, I met Greg, and Greg's a really sharp guy. He's been using HRV in the clinic that he's in for a while, and I will let Greg talk more about himself.
Perfect. Thanks, Jason. My name is Greg Elliott. I'm an exercise physiologist up in Vancouver, Canada. Currently going to school to complete my diploma of osteopathic manual practice, so to be able to be more of a hands-on therapist at this point. But yes, no, I've been using it for a little over the last 3 years with heart rate variability, and it started off back in my master's degree, where I completed at Bloomsburg University in Pennsylvania. The reason why I was in Pennsylvania is I was on a basketball scholarship there, so I stayed there and I completed my master's in exercise science. And my master's thesis was on non-invasive ways of monitoring various heart functions, and we were in particular looking at a technology to non-invasively measure cardiac output during exercise. So we had a couple devices that we were using, and that's when I first started to learn about diagnostics of the heart, and that's where we came across HRV, and talked to a few people when I came back in 2013 to Vancouver, and really started to utilize it in first the fitness kind of industry and see how it worked there, as that was primarily where it was used for. And then as I was diving into more and more research, starting to use more of a clinician, like a clinician side and more of a clinic. And currently now I'm downtown Vancouver at a couple locations. One is Fit to Train, which is a physical rehab clinic. I work with them, as well as Copeman Healthcare Center. It's a private medical clinic with doctors and nurses, and kind of a one-stop shop from that perspective. So those are the two companies that right now that are using heart rate variability. I'm helping them with their clients and to reach lots of goals. So Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
So, yeah, I appreciate that, Greg. And kind of as I mentioned, over the past actually couple of years now that Greg and I have been communicating, we started going back and forth. And really early on, we determined that with our combined experience, we could probably put together a really neat educational resource for people. And especially if we reach out to other coaches and practitioners who are using heart rate variability, talk to the people who are doing primary research, and gather as much data as we could. And that's kind of how the Foundations of Heart Rate Variability course came about, which is what we're about to cover. So let's see, we've got so, oh yeah, by the way, we'll talk more about this at the end, but we will be able to take questions in a different format. But for this webinar, we're actually just going to be covering the course curriculum and going over as much information as we can to help you understand what this course is all about. And then we'll talk more about future webinars and other opportunities at the end. So, oh yeah, one thing to note before we go into the curriculum is that the webinar, or the course rather, is not about a specific app. It's not about Elite HRV, even though I like that app, but it's really to go into the science and application of heart rate variability using various or data that's accessible to you today. So whether it's through an app like mine or another app, or just collecting and uploading it into Kubios, whatever it is that you like to do to analyze heart rate variability, the course focuses on what these values mean, how to collect them effectively regardless of the platform, and how to analyze them and apply them to various situations. Again, so I just wanted to emphasize that it's not about a specific app or anything, but we do talk about the collection and analysis of HRV values. So we'll see that more in the curriculum. Greg, do you want to go ahead and read over the curriculum for us real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you go into hrvcourse.com, everything that I'm going to be saying is there for you guys. But in case you haven't been there or just kind of want to know kind of what we're covering in general, we have about 16 modules that are around 10 to 15 minutes in length that cover a whole topic from everything we could possibly do, from introducing heart rate variability. So the first module will talk about stress and homeostasis. So, understanding stress and its physiological impacts is crucial for understanding the connection between heart rate variability in the body. And this module will cover the basics of stress and the importance of homeostasis, or maintaining the autonomic internal balance. Module 2 will talk about allostasis. Allostasis is the adaptive processes to maintain homeostasis. Allostasis and allostatic load are important concepts to understand in relation to heart rate variability, because the body's ability to properly adapt will affect the person's absolute and relative heart rate variability. This module elaborates on specific topic of stress and homeostasis from there. And then module 3, we talk about the general adaptation syndrome and individual response. So we call it the GAS model. So GAS model is the foundation of short-term and long-term physiological effects of stress on the body. It is an important concept to understand when using heart rate variability guided training. Individual response to stress can affect individual stress and recovery patterns seen HRV training analysis. We cover both GAS and individual stress responses in this module to lay a good foundation for understanding the body's stress and recovery states reflected in heart rate variability. Then we get into introducing what heart rate variability is. And this module introduces HRV, explaining why it exists, reviews its history and present day uses, and covers mechanisms that cause HRV. And then we go into the autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system is a division of the nervous system that controls the subconscious process of the body. HRV is the most accurate, non-invasive measure of the autonomic nervous system. This section of the course dives deeper into the two branches that reflected in heart rate variability, the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. Then we talked about the vagus nerve, which is a cranial nerve that connects the brain to the heart, lungs, intestines, and many other organs. HRV directly measures the vagus nerve input onto the heart. This module explains more about the vagus nerve function and the connection to heart rate variability. We also discussed the baroreceptor reflex influence on the vagus nerve, and therefore HRV, as well as respiratory sinus arrhythmia and its effects on heart rate variability. Don't worry if you don't understand any of these terms, they will all be explained in the course. We just want to kind of introduce some of the topics that will be talked about. Then we go into measuring heart rate variability. This module focuses on how to accurately and precisely measure your heart rate variability. Some important topics to cover, including selecting a measurement duration, how frequently to measure heart rate variability, taking measurements during rest versus active states, different measuring positions, the effects of breathing patterns on the measurement, taking group measurements, and the different types of devices and heart rate monitors used for measuring heart rate variability. Then we go into the analyzing HRV section. This module, we discuss the different ways to analyze heart rate variability measurements using time domain, frequency domain, and non-linear analytic methods. We cover the calculations of each method and what indices and values mean, and the physiological mechanisms that affect each. We'll also review how to effectively trend HRV measurements over the short-term and long-term events, the importance of contextualizing your heart rate variability data with lifestyle factors, and the use cases for HRV biofeedback. Then we get into demographics. Demographic factors such as age, gender, fitness level, and others can affect heart rate variability. Therefore, it is important to analyze people's heart rate variability within their demographic in order to get an accurate comparison. In this section, we review some of the research showing the effects of age, gender, and fitness level on heart rate variability, as well as some other important considerations. We'll also provide a useful reference document breakdown of average HRV metrics for each demographic. I just want to say personally that those three are extremely important. That Jason covers all these three in the course, and it's really gives you really good understanding of certain HRV values that are calculated and why they're important. Then we get into something. Oh
no, I was just saying thank you, and
we still got more
from behind the screen here. I'll let you finish in a second, but okay. I just want to say that add that these particular sections, as you mentioned, are quite intensive, and yes. They're broken down into many video segments in each section. So we actually ended up with a lot more content in these sections, especially measuring and analyzing. So we really go into breaking down like the different body positions and their effect on heart rate variability during measuring, which different devices are good for measuring, why, the effect of artifacts and signal noise, and the pros and cons of electrical based versus PPG based sensors and things like that. And it sounds quite technical, and some parts of it are really technical, but we do our best to really break it down and kind of make it easier to understand. And then analyzing, I just want to reemphasize, like Greg mentioned, we go pretty deep into the weeds on the time domain, frequency domain, and nonlinear and even entropy analysis of heart rate variability. We talk about how frequency domain, or the pros and cons of each, how frequency domain measurements require certain amounts of time to get each frequency domain value. So a reading has to be of a certain duration in order to actually even calculate frequency domain calculations. So yeah, just wanted to kind of highlight that there's a lot of info in those sections.
Yes, it is. Yeah, no, it's Jason did a really, really good job with all those. So I think that's one thing that kind of separates this course from other ones is how in depth it is, and to really understand each value. And because I think some people sometimes get lost when they see an HRV value and kind of what it means, and what the importance of high frequency is, or when I see an 86, what does that mean? Or if I see a 52, what does that mean? So in these different things and what each app is calculating. So good. Then we kind of get into how HRV is tied into our health and performance. So the first section we get into is HRV and physical health. So HRV is a validated measure of health and longevity. In this module, we will discuss how HRV indices have been correlated to a majority of the leading causes of death. We also cover how HRV is a non-invasive biomarker that can be used to see health status and monitor treatment progress. Then we get into HRV, nutrition, and environment. Nutritional and environmental factors are important for overall health. In this module, we'll discuss how heart rate variability can be used to identify inflammation response from nutritional and environmental stressors. We will also review some examples and studies linking heart rate variability to nutritional and environmental stressors. Then we get into HRV and physical performance. One of the most common applications for HRV is by coaches and athletes looking to optimize their training programs. This is because HRV is the best objective measure of an individual's fitness level and is key for understanding an athlete's recovery status. In this section, we will cover the different HRV indices in relation to training stress and recovery status. We will discuss how to identify overtraining, undertraining, and functional overreaching conditions. We'll also go over the different training factors that affect HRV and some basic guidelines for tailoring training using HRV data. Then we get into HRV and emotional health. Emotional and mental health are just as important as physical health to an individual's overall well-being and performance. In this module, we'll review several example case studies demonstrating how HRV analysis and HRV biofeedback training can be used to successfully identify and treat emotional and mental conditions such as depression, anxiety, and PTSD. Then we get into HRV and recovery. Rest and recovery are crucial for achieving health and performance goals. In this section, we will review the importance of recovery, how to identify recovery status using HRV trending, and different active recovery techniques to expedite recovery. Then we'll get into something that I kind of created and we snowballed together, something, the HRV optimization checklist. And this is something that I use with every person that I see initially that comes in for an HRV assessment. So after learning about the demographic factors that influence HRV and seeing how you compare to your demographic, it might be necessary to take action to improve your HRV. In this module, we'll briefly cover the different lifestyle factors that can affect HRV and should be looked at when trying to optimize your HRV and therefore health. And then finally is HRV and usage for your business. So many coaches, personal trainers, consultants, health practitioners, rehabilitation specialists, and first responder organizations have already been utilizing HRV monitoring to optimize their programs. This module is intended for people looking to implement HRV analysis into their business offerings. We will discuss how integrating HRV analysis and coaching services can differentiate your business and can provide a better experience for your clients. HRV guidance can help you create an individualized approach for your clients that increases client participation, results, and satisfaction. We also offer tips on analyzing common HRV trends, utilizing HRV consultations, and how to use HRV in group training. So that's pretty much those modules. It's a lot of information, it's a lot of content. And that's one thing that we had a real struggle is we have to provide a certain minimum amount of stuff that we want to be able to do without diving too deep, or else you guys would be watching videos for about 2 months straight of everything we can dive into. So a lot of these introduce a lot of topics for you guys to understand it a little bit better and how complex this situation is. And our goal obviously is to provide this content to you in a easy to understand manner with all that we go through. So at the end of each section, each module, we will be doing knowledge checks. So we got anywhere from about 3 to 5 questions to make sure you guys are getting understanding of what we're going through with each of those, as well as you get some downloadable sheets that Jason and his wife have done an unbelievable job of doing. I think that adds a great value to the course. These little one-page sheets that talk about, kind of give you a summary of what the course is. So rather than having to go back and watch the videos, you guys can have these and be like, just a little, forget something here or there. You'll have these little sheets to be able to utilize and keep with you at all times to help you out. So, yes. And then Jason's going to talk about a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I definitely appreciate you going over all that, Greg. So yeah, that's definitely, thanks for mentioning Alyssa, who's my wife and partner in business. And she doesn't often get credit out in the public, but she put in a ton of work into creating cheat sheets and doing collecting research and citations. All of the references to scientific studies and things that we reference throughout the course are listed in each module, so you can continue on reading the primary research if that's of an interest to you. That, like Greg said, the cheat sheets and handouts are in a PDF form. Actually, I'll probably just screen share and show what one of those looks like for folks. But so I keep looking over here because I have two monitors going. But I just wanted to kind of summarize in that the first half of the course is really about the science and research and going into the autonomic nervous system, the vagus nerve, how those systems relate to heart rate variability and relate to health and performance. And then the second half, that whole practical application section that we were just talking about, is really focused on its action-oriented, trying to apply HRV to various goals like tackling nutrition. Obviously, performance is a big one. It's one of the longer videos. Emotional health, recovery. But overall, our goal with them is this isn't going to be like a comprehensive course on physical performance. It's not an exercise physiology course, so to speak, but it actually tells you how to apply heart rate variability to that arena. And then because part of what we're talking about throughout the course is the individuality of various people. So whether you're sedentary or an elite athlete, or whether you're trying to recover from traumatic injury or some emotional or psychological issues, there's a lot of individual situations that we all find us in, and heart rate variability. We talk about how to use that as a tool, as an objective measurement tool to find out what's going on with you and your situation with regards to each of these subjects. So yeah, that's probably obvious, but I wanted to add it in. And so let's see, we talked about the quizzes and the knowledge checks. There's also a certificate of completion, which comes from completing all of the quizzes and final exam throughout the course. And that's something that's going to be printable PDF as well, certifiable. You can link back to it if you have people who are interested in seeing your certificate. And you can also link that to your LinkedIn profile. So we had that question come up last week or the week before, and I looked into it and made sure that we are integrated with LinkedIn, so you can post your certificate there. The certificate is totally optional, and actually, let me share my screen and just show what it looks like. But you do not have to, while I'm pulling this up, you do not have to take all of the quizzes and final exam. You can actually skip them all, but you don't get the certificate unless you do them. So I'm here on the course portal. If you want to go review the curriculum, just scroll down and you'll see it down there. And, this curriculum may be updated over time, especially as we get feedback. We're big fans of feedback. And so just keep an eye down here and see what the most up-to-date curriculum looks like. And you can find some additional info. Greg's doing a sweet video here. This is also where you will initiate how to actually take the course. So let me see, we were going to look at the certificate of completion real quick. Here's just an example certificate, but in the PDF form. Obviously it's full screen, it's got your name on it, the date that you finished the course, as well as the certificate code. So that's going to be printable and verifiable. And why don't we start going through and actually looking at the site now, and kind of how to take the course and what to expect, how to get the most out of it. So obviously, to get the course, you can go to hrvcourse.com, which if you're watching this webinar, you have already found. Congratulations. And but anyways, click the course portal and then the Take This Course button. And when you start the course, it will bring you into a screen that looks similar to this, but this is just an example course. So this doesn't have all of the same content as the real course. It was just something I put together real quick for this webinar. But over on the right, you can see that you have unlimited access to the course, which you will have. You have a progress bar and a list of the modules in the course. This one is obviously stripped down. You got some navigation elements, but if you go ahead and click Start Course, then it will take you into the actual units of the course. And so this is an example of the vagus nerve. And Greg, could you give me some feedback? Is this readable on the screen?
From my perspective, like when I see it, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that people can actually see it.
Yeah.
So this is what a course module will look like inside the portal. And you can see there's a brief summary about what the module is about. And then there is the actual video where we go through. I won't play the video here, but you'll see when you get into it. The video is where the PowerPoint and all of the slides and discussion are, where we're presenting. And then right below that is resources and cheat sheets for this module. So yeah, actually, if you click on one of these cheat sheets, which everyone can thank Alyssa for really creating, she's done a phenomenal job on these. They really break down all of the key facts that you need to know in a visual, printable format. And this is a real PDF right here that you will get. And there's like, I can't remember, 30 or 40 of these or something like that that are reference guides to various topics throughout the course. So those are huge. And then you can see below that the references for this module. So if you're interested in pursuing any of the research studies that we read through for, and you can see there's a bunch of references for this 5-minute presentation. We really tried to get the information down to the most concise message as possible. And so yeah, that's a basic unit. Over on the right, you can see your progress goes up as you go through the course. The knowledge checks and the final exam and everything are listed on the curriculum. So that's a handout. This is an example of a knowledge check. So you can see we're still in the portal. And after each section, you can choose to take this quiz or not. As I mentioned previously, there might be 3 to 5 questions in each module. You do have to complete all of the quizzes in order to get the final exam or the certificate, but you do not have to take them to just view the course. So that is how the quizzes work, and then the certificate. So let me say a brief bit about how to go through and take this course. What we recommend is that since the content is, in some cases, it's quite in-depth, and it's a lot of information to take in all at once, I would recommend chunking it out and going at your own pace. So don't feel like you have to take the whole course all at once, although this is the Netflix era, so you can binge watch the whole course all at once if you want. But I would recommend watching the video through. It's this particular one is 5 minutes, and there are others that are a lot longer. There are some around this length, but just watch it all the way through. Then open up that cheat sheet and either print it out or have it on your screen or something like that. And in some cases, there's multiple cheat sheets per video. And then read through the cheat sheet. And if you feel like you need to, go back and watch the video again one more time with the cheat sheet handy. And I think that the cheat sheet does a great job of really pulling out which key points you need to be paying attention to. And as far as like the vagus nerve goes, it has a lot of the actionable points for that. And then that should be plenty to get through the knowledge check. There are also a lot of topics that kind of cross over with each other. So, if you're not sure that you understand how the autonomic nervous system connects to nutrition or something, then maybe wait till the nutrition module and your answers may be covered in that module. And so one thing that I wanted to say too is, let me stop screen sharing. We're definitely able to be contacted through the course portal, or just send an email to support@hrvcourse.com, support@hrvcourse.com. And Greg and I are ready to answer any questions that you might have as you're taking the course. Again, I do encourage you to wait till you get through all of the material to see if your questions are answered. But just definitely feel free to reach out. We love feedback, questions, comments, anything like that. And let's see. So we have a couple more webinars coming up, actually. They have not been publicly announced because they're private webinars, which you actually may have seen on the HRV course website. And Greg, will you tell us a little bit about what those particular webinars are about?
Yeah, so we got 2 webinars that were going to be planned coming pretty soon here, looking at people that pre-order the course. So pretty much by midnight tonight, if you order the course, you'll have access to these 2 webinars. And ultimately, both webinars will answer any questions you guys have. It'll be more of a question and answer thing, but we're going to focus on the first one's going to be on the first half of the content, so more about the stress and heart rate variability in general and all the kind of science stuff behind that. And then the second one, we're going to focus on more of the actionable, necessarily how do Jason and I or other people utilize heart rate variability in the real world, taken from my own little video course there. But more of the actionable type stage. How do we, any kind of things that we've seen in particular, case studies that we had that we didn't mention in the course. I could do a whole course on the case studies that I've had with people. So so if you're interested at all of getting a little more opinions or expertise of HRV, definitely sign up for the course to get access to those 2 ones that should be coming within the next couple months or so, or I'm not too sure when. We haven't planned the exact dates yet, but they will be. You guys will be notified very soon as to when they will occur.
Oops, let me unmute myself. So I just wanted to reemphasize. Thanks, Greg, for going over that. The first webinar is really going to go in depth on the first half of the course, the science, the research. We're going to answer all of your questions in that webinar. And it's private to pre-orderers. So it's about noon now. So if you're in the UK or Europe, then you have a few more hours before bed to pre-order the course to join in on those webinars. I just want to emphasize the content of the course is the same whether you order today or tomorrow. But the webinars are going to be private to people who pre-order by the end of today. So if you're watching this replay, tomorrow, then sorry, but there will be, future information and promotions and things going on. But we're really excited about the launch because a lot of work has gone into this course over it's been a long time in the making. So we're really excited about it, and we really want to engage with those people who join us on the journey early and pre-order the course. So that first webinar will be covering the first half of the course content. The second webinar will be covering all of the practical application aspects. So if you're implementing this in your own health and performance goals or for your business, then we will answer all of those questions as well. And our goal is to have these as private webinars, and those webinars will not be posted publicly in any way, no replays or anything. But the people who do sign up by today will get the replays as well for those. So, oh yeah, and also a comment that I've gotten a couple of feedback already is that I know that for some folks it is early morning or the middle of the night right now, so they're not able to attend the webinar live. But for those future webinars, those private webinars where we're going to be answering all of your questions, we will have multiple times for those. So we will try to get those in different time zones so that we can reach you when works best for you. And if you're not able to attend those, you can always, we'll have a way for you to send us questions beforehand or afterwards, even for the folks that pre-order, and we'll make sure that all of your questions get answered. So yeah, I mean, we're really excited. The site is going to be updated tomorrow with access to the course. So for everybody who pre-orders, get excited to go ahead and dive into the content tomorrow. And hopefully the infrastructure holds up and nothing crashes or anything like that. But we've been doing some good testing, so I think it's ready to go, which we're really excited about. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions about this, definitely feel free to go ahead and get that pre-order in to reserve your spots for the private webinars where we're answering all of the questions about heart rate variability, the science, the application of it. But if you have any questions about the website, or you're not able to purchase the course for whatever reason, or if you run into any issues, just shoot us an email over at support@hrvcourse.com, and we'll be happy to take care of you. And yeah, let's see, make sure I covered all of my notes.
I think that was it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And thanks, Greg. Do you want to have any closing comments for folks?
Yeah, so, well, like Jason said, is that we want to make this as useful to you guys as possible, because you understand that, it's your hard-earned money going into this, and we want to make this as useful to you guys, even to the fact that I've even updated my videos already to make it a little more the way that I want it initially. So it's good that even as research is coming in, that we'll continue to kind of, update it when necessary, when there's enough people that want to see change in regards to a specific topic, or there's enough information for us to provide you guys with the most relevant content. So if you see my videos are a little bit different, that is why. But other than that, yeah, no, it's we're really excited for that. We've worked on this for a very, very, very long time to finally get to you guys, and we want to make it as useful for you all as possible. So any content or any kind of feedback you have, just contact us, and we'll be happy to answer and make changes where we need to be.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Greg. That's a really good point. As Greg mentioned, we're going to be definitely keeping this content up to date. If you purchase now, then you're going to have unlimited access to all the future updates as well. So, and a lot of them are going to be based on your feedback. The same way that I like to design Elite HRV is early on. It had a lot of really interesting features, but over time we got feedback and improved the system. The same goes here. We're going to continue interacting with coaches, practitioners, researchers to keep this information up to date as new stuff emerges. And we're also going to be adding advanced legs of this course. So if you like a topic, but you really want to go down on nutrition, for example, there's going to be an entire course on nutrition specifically and relating it back to heart rate variability. But that will build on what is in this foundational course. So this course will be really paving the way for a lot of great information. So yeah, I appreciate your time. As Greg mentioned, this has been a long time coming. We put a lot of work into this, and a lot more than just our brain power has gone into it as well. So thank you for everyone who's contributed and given us feedback and information on all of this stuff. And yep, get those pre-orders in today, and we're excited to launch by tomorrow. And we expect a flood of emails saying how awesome we are. No, I'm just kidding. But if you have any questions or need any help, definitely feel free to reach out. Or if you want to, give positive feedback, that's fine too. But support@hrvcourse.com. Otherwise, just head over to hrvcourse.com. If you're already there, then you know what to do. And we will see you on the other side of the course portal and in the private webinars that are in a couple of weeks. So we'll talk soon. Yep. Thanks, Greg, too.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks, guys, for joining.
All right. Bye.